Got cussed out today because I wouldn't pay for a stranger's groceries. Where do you draw the line with charity? Story 1. About 10 years ago, I used to work for an old, greedy, mean guy. I was trying to get through school, but I had no choice but to work at the terrible restaurant he owned. It wasn't a chain restaurant and he was the owner, so he kinda got crazy with it. He was obsessed with making the biggest profits and would exploit his workers to do it for him. One day he wanted some new business ideas, and even though I worked in the kitchen, he still came to me asking for ideas. And I didn't even have any, and I've been kind of upset at his attitude lately. So I made up a BS story about a new kind of burger we could be selling. As expected, he told me that it was the dumbest thing he'd ever heard. I had nothing to do on my off hours the days I didn't have school, so me and a buddy thought it'd be hilarious to actually set up a lemonade stand-like shop outside and try to actually sell the product I proposed to my boss. They actually turned out to be quite a hit. Through word of mouth, our new kind of burger spread in our local community. The downside is, my boss actually caught word of the side business I had, and being the greedy scumbag he is, he wanted to take over the small business I had set up. Some sort of charity he wanted, I guess. He didn't want to buy it. He actually just wanted me to give it to him for the money. So I did. The burgers I'd sold to everyone had lasting effects on their tongue, and I knew Mr. Krabs would get in trouble for it instead of me. I eventually got my job back at my original place even though I got in trouble with the boss. Too long didn't read, set up side business, boss wants me to give him money for my side business. I'm that charitable, so I did. I feel like I know the answer to this already, but did you get a raise for your great idea? I'm guessing no, but who knows. Also, I don't know why, but I only pictured your boss as Pete from Mickey Mouse, and then when you said Mr. Krabs, I was beating myself up for not picturing that in the first place. Story 2. I was at work a while back at a major retailer in the Deep South. I had a gentleman come in and ask me about a laptop. The laptop cost $899. I explained the specs, gave him the lowdown on the warranty, etc. He let me wrap up my spiel and looked at me and said, "I'll give you $400 for it." This happens a lot, so I patiently informed him that this was impossible for me to do, and I do not designate prices. He looked at me and said, "Well, you just lost yourself a computer sale," and left. I wish it ended there. I got off and was walking to my car, and as I got there, a truck came flying into the parking lot, and it's this same gentleman as before. He whips into the parking spot next to mine and gets out. My metaphorical hackles were raised because this guy was driving so aggressively. He gets out and slams his door and walks over to me. He looks at me and says, "You'll sell that laptop for me for $300 or I'm gonna get you fired for racism." I answered him and just said, "Sir, I have no idea who you are, and I have no intention of selling you anything at all. I'm not even on the clock. If you have an issue, go into the store and ask for a manager." He swore explosively that his imitation factor didn't work and went into the store. I drove home and forgot about it. I get to work the next day and find out he was arrested for trying to steal the shelf display. What did he need a laptop for that badly? There are laptops for $300, $400. Why did he need that one? Being that unhinged, he had to have been on something. And I'm glad he got locked up, and I hope he's getting the help he definitely needs. Story 3. I remember about 10 years ago, I had just moved into a new city for college, and I was definitely a starving student. I had a budget for $40 a week for food and transportation, and that was it. Anyway, one evening I'm walking from class to the bus stop, and I see a kid sitting in an alcove begging passersby for money. A few things. He had a nice bike, new shoes, I had neither, and expensive sunglasses. So he sees me and asks if I have some spare change. Feeling charitable, I reach into my wallet and see that I have $22, 2 singles and a 20. I take out the 2 singles and pass them to him and he says, "Oh, you aren't gonna give me the 20? At which point I took the 2 singles back, stuck them in my wallet, pocketed it, and walked off. This moochy a-hole said something akin to, "Come on, that's not cool. Can I please have the $2? Beggars can't be choosers has never felt more appropriate. As a general rule, I never give money. I might give someone a bottle of water or some food if they look like they need it, but never money. That's probably the better way to do it, because that way at least you know they're getting what you think they need. Story 4. I was eating some bagels with a few of my friends when a homeless man approached and asked me money to buy food. We had a bag of day-olds that my friend brought, so we offered him his choice of those bagels. He looked at the bagels and said, "I don't want your freaking bagels, I want cash." We told him we don't have any cash on us, but we would be more than happy to share the food we had with him. He just stared at me for a few seconds, and then started yelling profanities at me for not giving him money. I just told him that beggars can't be choosers, and that if he's not going to accept what we offer him, then he has no right to be upset about anything. Then the rest of the people eating on the patio took my side and basically told him to get out of there, because none of them were going to give him a dime after that outburst. It's so sad when people get like that. An actual homeless man who's hungry would happily accept a kind and sincere offer like that. Story 5. I was in Chicago a few years ago with my husband, my daughter, and her fiance. Went to Giordano's for pizza. Anyway, we ordered way too much food, and the pizza when it arrived was like 2 inches thick. We had so many starters that we could only eat 1 piece each of the 2 pizzas, so we got to-go boxes. As we were walking along, this woman came up and told us she was really hungry, and could we help her out by giving her some money. Well, we didn't have any cash on us, but we did have this lovely still warm pizza. We offered her one of the to-go boxes, but she got all insulted and told us that she didn't want our freaking pizza. She wanted money. We told her to frick off and went and found a homeless guy who was more than happy to take our pizza and thanked us profusely while enjoying a slice. We were well aware she just wanted to buy some drugs/booze. That's why we told her to frick off. Who in their right mind would turn pizza down? Even not in their right mind, like it's pizza. Story 6. I had a mother approach me with her 2 kids a few months ago. She asked for some change and I gave her a few bills. She thanked me and then her daughter looked up and said something to the effect of, "I guess we can eat tonight." It took me 2 seconds to decide on what I needed to do. I took them grocery shopping. I didn't even do shopping for myself that month yet. But I said frick it. I got the mother in touch with a social worker at my facility and assured her that they would not take her kids away. They would help her in the meantime until she got up on her feet. I still talk with the family and the kids are doing fine. I know my situation is different from the OP's, and they did the right thing in not helping this woman. Look at how nasty she reacted. Now I have an extended family and 2 young kids to play Pokemon with. That is such a touching story. People like you need to be protected at all costs. Story 7. I was getting a prescription one night from Walgreens. I work late and this was a 24-hour one, so I usually bustle inside around midnight after work and try not to talk to the people hanging around outside. An old skinny guy was sitting on the sidewalk, homeless, and on my way out he called me and said he was hungry. So hungry, he just wanted to eat. But the only thing open was McDonald's and just the drive-thru. He didn't have a car. I don't know why, but I asked him what he wanted, and he said a Big Mac with no lettuce and a Coke with no ice. I told him I'd get it for him. Surprisingly, he tried to hand me a ton of change for my trouble, which I refused. I wasn't gonna give him a ride. I just went and got it and came right back since Mickey D's was right across the road. When I came back, I handed him a bag of food. I got a few bottles of water for him too. He didn't say God bless you or anything I feel homeless people usually try to say. He just said, I didn't think you would come back, and he had tears in his eyes. Then he wished me a good night and sat down to eat. No regrets. Thank you so much for doing that for him. At first I was scared and thought this thread was only going to be bad stories, but stories like yours are really bringing my faith in humanity back. Story 8. A while back after I lost my job, I was starving and went to the grocery store for just a few cheap things to last me a couple of days. At the register, my card got declined. I apologized to the cashier and tried not to seem upset because I could have sworn I had a few dollars in the bank. A woman in line behind me told me to grab the food and she'd pay for it. I thanked her and she replied, "You look like someone who would do the same if you could, and I hope that one day you will." Amazed by her kindness and how good it made me feel for a stranger to help me out while I was at my lowest, I promised myself I'd do the same. Once I got a new job, I was leaving work one day, and an older man in a wheelchair asked if I had money for food. We were outside a sandwich shop, and I offered to go in and buy him whatever he'd like to eat. He told me to get off and rolled away into the night. Too long didn't read? Dude, I tried. You did try, and I'm sure the universe saw you trying to pay it forward. Story 9. I've helped out a mother trying to buy a pizza dinner for her 3 kids. They looked really hungry and the mom was short maybe $10. She was frantically looking around in her purse and pockets trying to come up with the cash. I gave her a 20 and told her to buy some breadsticks and sodas too. Her look of gratitude is something I'll never forget. On the other hand, I was once in some clothing store with my girlfriend. I don't remember which one, they all kind of blend together in my mind. When a teenage girl walked up to me and demanded $10 so she could buy some lipstick. I refused, so she ran to her mother, who basically chewed me out for refusing her precious baby. So basically, I won't give any charity to those who are entitled. Who are these people? I can't imagine going up to a complete stranger demanding money. WTF? That's what I'm saying. What would possess someone to think that's okay to just ask a stranger for money in a store like that? And then for the mother to chew you out for not spending money on her kid, which you've never met. Hands would have been flying if that was me. Story 10. I was at a Kmart earlier today, picking up something for work. I was standing at the checkout line with a few other people I don't know. At the front of the line was a woman buying a 12-pack of beer, some bananas, a Hunger Games DVD, and some Halloween candy. After the cashier rang her up, the woman realized she was short of $11, and instead of putting something back, she turned around and asked the rest of us in line to pony up the $11. To be charitable. When nobody handed over the money, the woman began cursing us all out. "You call yourselves Christians? Where's your charity?" With that, she left her groceries at the checkout and stormed out of the store. See, if this woman were buying baby formula or diapers, and was $1 or $2 short, and displayed a bit of humility, I would have no problem handing it over. This woman was expecting everyone else to put their needs aside, and to just fork over the money, for a case of beer and a teeny bopper movie no less. Again, how are people so brave to just ask strangers for money like that? Story 11. Once in line with my 2 kids buying groceries midday in a nice place, the lady behind me interrupted the cashier asking if I found everything okay with the loud, "How about buying my groceries?" When I replied that I was sorry, but the kids practically ate me out of house and home as it was their age, she started her own ongoing monologue throughout my checkout about how I ought to. I owed it to her for slavery and other things. She finished with the polite goodbye of, "Don't worry, we're gonna take what you owe us one way or another. Do you think you're safe? We're coming for you, cracker butts." Had I not already sent the kids to get water to avoid her earlier taunts, I might have had to address such a threat with them. But luckily, I was able to walk away and remember not to shop there in the future. Some people are just so entitled and think the world should be handed to them on a silver platter. I don't know how you held back, because I certainly would not have been able to. Story 12. I found a wallet with $200 and several gift cards while I was stuck at work one day. It was a Yu-Gi-Oh wallet, so I figured some kid lost his B-Day money. I turned it into the service desk and forgot about it. 30 days later, no one had claimed it, so I gotta keep it. I was telling my friend about my good luck, and a friend of hers, not a friend of mine, says, "You should give me a 20. I asked her why. "'Cause I never punched you in the face all those times you were a butt to me." It should be noted that I have always been kind to this extremely unpleasant girl, even when she was squatting in my living room for several weeks. She squatted at your place and she's calling you a butt? She should be the one giving you $20. Story 13. Since when does being charitable mean buying beer, DVDs, and candy? Hi, I'm with the Beer, Movies, and Candy Foundation, and I just wanted you to know, for the low price of $5 a day, you can ensure one unfortunate person who has to go without necessities such as beer, movies, and candy will be provided with enough beer, movies, and candy that they may find the strength to carry on. You can make a difference in someone's life right now by calling 1-800-BEER-ME and making a donation. Story 14. I used to ride the bus to work when I lived in Fairbanks, Alaska. At the bus stop every morning, this Alaskan tribal native bum would bum a cigarette from me every single morning. One day I was out of smokes. He just kept asking over and over again. And when I snapped at him that it was 2 days before payday and I didn't have any freaking smokes, he pulls an almost full pack of Marlboros out of his pocket and lights one up. Then calls me a stingy white and stumbled off. He's just upset he had to use his emergency stash. Story 15. I gave this guy a free hot dog and he took it and threw it on the ground and said he wouldn't be part of my system. He told me that he didn't need my charity because he was an adult. Dang, that's some real anarchist energy right there. Story 16. I was in a bicycle shop getting a repair done, and some lady in her 20s came up to me and asked me to buy her a bike. I am not very prosperous looking, so I cannot imagine what she was thinking. I think she was thinking she wanted a bike.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe for more videos to come, or else this spider will be in your bed tonight.